Another crazy day in the world of West Ham as we get linked to none other than Raheem Sterling. We get told that a deal has been agreed with John Victor as Fabrizio Romano tweets it out. And an ex-employee says that Potter and McCauley don't want him. They don't want the goalkeeper that is being offered to him. It's all a bit mad at the moment. We need to get some players in. We need the midfield sorted. Brian, mate, good to have you on again.
Yes. Dan, it's just madness. It's like, say, every day there's a different story, different links. The goalkeeper merry-go-round, and as you said, the Sterling one today. But with the goalie thing, man, this is a bit mad because, again, what it does, it highlights that there's contradiction. There's a clash when it comes to who's controlling what when it comes to the transfers. You got Potter with one thing and you got Sullivan doing another thing. And I'm so confused at the moment. But this one's really embarrassing because we've been linked with 4 goalies now in the space of a week, with Victor looking like the one that's going to go through. It don't make sense to me now. Potter's declining it. What's going on?
Well, breaking news. Henry Winter has posted that positive dialogues continuing between West Ham and Leicester over Mads Hermansen. Personal terms in place. What is going on, man? This is insane. It's insane. Like, we're hearing from Fabrizio that we've agreed a deal for Victor. Now we're hearing that we've agreed a deal for Hermansen, who seems to be Potter's choice. So maybe Potter and McCauley have won. Mate, yeah, like Matt says, it's a circus. It's a circus. Wow, mate. So listen, the way I see it is, if Potter wants Hermansen, go and get Hermansen. If he wanted Victor, I was cool with the idea of spending less on a goalkeeper now and investing in that midfield. The midfield is key for me.
Yeah.
However, if he doesn't want Victor, we don't get Victor. Simple as. We've given Sullivan 2 now. He's had 2 signings. 2 too many. So that has to be it now. Get him Hermansen in.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. There was a side to me when the whole Victor thing first got linked and we were talking about it. There was a side to me that's thinking, right, okay, are we looking at 2 goalkeepers? Because one of them had to come in as an understudy, and the valuation that was put in for him, it made sense that he would be the one coming in as an understudy regardless. But like you said, if it was just one and we took him and then invested that money in the midfield, that would make sense to me. Now we're in a situation where we need to kind of let the story breathe and see what plays out over the next 24 hours. Because to me, it's just confusing. Now that this has come out, it's confusing. And what it does, it kind of makes us look stupid, man. It's a bit embarrassing. And I don't know if that's just us looking at it through a magnifying glass internally as fans. But it just sounds like we've been linked with everyone. And yeah, it just seems like a mess.
Yeah, it really does. Like, we've been trying to get this goalkeeper sorted out for seems like a couple of weeks now. And it's been Suzuki, Hermansen, Cooper. And then all of a sudden, John Victor's name comes out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, he's the favourite. And it looks like the deal's done and he's going to be the keeper. Then no, like, you know what I mean? Here comes Hermansen with the briefcase. And he comes in the last minute and could be getting Hermansen. Just get someone in so we can move on to the bloody midfield, for crying out loud, man. But there's a big problem that there seems to be a clash behind the scenes with McCauley and Potter versus Sullivan, his little minions, and his little gremlin son. And that's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's been said in the comments there with regards to, is there a possibility that the plan was always to get 2 goalkeepers? If that were the case, there would have been some noise muted around Areola wanting out or the club wanting out, and we haven't had no suitors in for him as far as we know. But imagine what's going through his head right now. We've been talking over the last few weeks or so about the camp looking good, humongous, everyone looking happy, ready to go. With all of this talk about bringing in a goalie, etc., like, it can't be doing him any good either way, even if it's a situation where we're looking to bring in one. I think with the news, it's going to make him think it's my place. He'll be knocking on the door thinking, look, is my place under jeopardy? Because then do I need to reevaluate what I'm doing?
Yeah, 100%. And hopefully him, if we get Hermanson, that's a sign that, you know, he's still got some pull and he's won the battle. And hopefully that's it. We can kick on now, and Sullivan's folded, unless Sullivan uses that as a look. Well, you got your keeper. Now I want to choose the midfielder, or I want a winger. I want to bring in Sterling, because I tell you for damn sure that's not a Graham Potter signing. That's got David Sullivan written all over it. When I was on the train, I've done my video earlier. You know, I said the Sullivan signing, the Sterling signing, which would be a Sullivan signing, has Sullivan written all over it, because it's the appearance of ambition. When you're getting someone that's just a name and you're being opportunistic to just go and we can get him on loan, no one wants him, it makes us look like fans go, wow, Raheem Sterling, big name coming at West Ham, we're doing things, when in reality he's washed.
Yeah,
and he's not going to do nothing at West Ham.
Listen, when I saw that, I absolutely thought it was a joke. Like you said, Sterling's not the right profile of player that we need right now in the club. First and foremost, he wouldn't fit in a formation of 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, however you want to call it. He wouldn't fit in that unless you're throwing him up top for starters. Second thing is, if you look at his last two spells at two other London clubs, being Chelsea and Arsenal, haven't gone down well. He seems to me like a player whose confidence is completely shot. And actually, when he went to Arsenal, I thought, you know what? Maybe that's a good move for all parties involved, but it just didn't work for him. He's a player that I feel has had a good career in some respects, probably underrated in some things, because I think he done really well internationally and he had a decent shift at Man City. But it's all gone south for him now, and I just don't feel it would be a good fit for the club or for both parties as well.
Yeah, I would take that prime like Man City Sterling. Do you know what I mean? Like when he was balling for England, and he was a very good player. But like I said, it's confidence or motivation, and I don't want to see any more big name players come here, coast and pick up a paycheck and add nothing and just kill the vibes. You know, that's what I've got. Lord, should take the Arsenal Sterling. Leave it out. But yeah, so apparently he wants to stay in London. So it's between us, Fulham, and Palace. I really hope it's not us. Let it be one of those two. I could see Fulham potentially taking a punt on him, but look, we would probably have to just get him on loan and pay 50% of the wages. But even then, like, it's too much.
Yeah, and again, it's a bit like the Callum Wilson situation, isn't it? It's one of those ones whereby, if say like we've done our transfer business early, we got in targets that are in the positions that we need filling, i.e. midfield and everything, fans are happy, and then one or two of these guys who don't fit the profile came in because the deal was right or whatever, I could probably swallow it and think, you know what? Yeah, they'll make a contribution, whatever. But we can't be digging the bargain basement at this stage, because it's just not cool. And it sounds disrespectful saying like Sterling bargain basement, but the reality is we've got a player. What is it? Is it out of contract or going to be out of contract? I guess.
Is it? I thought he said I'd like a year or so.
Right. Okay. Chelsea. So he's at that time where the valuation side of it ain't peanuts. Do you know what I mean? It'd be easy to negotiate a deal, and I just feel like, you know, he's at the latter end of his career now, and it's just not a good fit at all. So I just really hope, like you said, he goes to one of them other clubs, or it's just a big wind up.
He's got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that 2 years is going to run out. I don't think anyone's signing him on a permanent. And this is the thing, you know. I was speaking to Jason, and he was like, you know, it's crazy. These sort of older, sort of like more washed up players still think they can demand these high wages, and this is a problem in football. You know, like your talent declines, but your wages don't decline with it, and you've got to have that realization that if you're really serious about playing football and you want to, you know, really get your career on track, teams ain't going to pay no 300 odd grand a week or whatever he's on. So I think you need to be realistic.
It's hard, isn't it? I think when you're sort of like, when you're that level and you've played at the top level for so long, it then does become down to desire. It's a bit like anything for even like the working class, like you and I think once you start getting a taste at something at a certain set wage, your aim is to always go meet that or go above that each time. Anything below that just seems a bit, and I think it's kind of the same for these guys. So I do like those ones that are hungry and they're willing to adjust, because then you know it's about football, it's about the game.
Because you look at any other sport, right? Whether it's tennis, snooker, darts, like them single, where it's not a team sport, like your income declines with your ability, because then you know, a lot of your money is prize based and competition based, like what you do in competitions, how you perform.
Yeah.
And so you naturally expect to earn less as you get older and as you lose that ability. Whereas football players just ride out that big money. It doesn't matter. They'll just sit there and earn. And, you know, if they can't like get it here, they'll go to Saudi. I mean, he's got kind of Saudi written all over him. You know what I mean? Because he's still a name. I'm surprised there's been no links there, but apparently he wants to stay in London. Good luck trying to find a London club to pay you over 300 grand a week, mate.
Ain't happening. And like I said, where would he fit in our system? Like, if we were to play the system we've been playing since Potter's come in and all pre-season, the only way I can see him, he ain't playing a wing back. He would have to be part of one of the front two. Yeah, that's the only way I could see it. But it don't make sense to me. I just don't think it makes sense. But Saudi is definitely something like that would be a good shout.
Yeah, 100%. It's only asking about Victor if he played a part in his team's win. I believe he did play a part. I'm so undecided about him. I've seen crazy foul comps. I've seen good stats. All of this. People saying he's a great shot stopper. Ario's a great shot stopper. We need more than a great shot stopper. And like I say, it doesn't matter what you tell me about him. If it's the manager that don't want him, then we pass on him. Like, simple as. Otherwise, like, what are we doing? Like, if we're going with Sullivan's vision and not the manager's vision, let the manager succeed or fail on his vision. We haven't got a director of football to oversee everything anymore because Sullivan sacked him. So then it's the manager who runs things. So
and that's the thing. What frustrates us as fans is where we're not in the loop in terms of, like, it's not very clear what the transfer strategy is, because it looks very scattergun, and how it's being reported generally with anyone we're linked with, it seems to be scattergun. Stuff I've been hearing in the press, particularly over the last 24 hours, all seems quite hopeful and optimistic. Oh, we've got loads of potential people that we're being linked with, and people are working hard behind the scenes, etc., etc. But the stuff that's coming through just don't really match up. It's kind of like we're linked with this player in this position, then this player in this position. It don't make sense. There's no like clear line of direction.
Yeah, where's the, like, that's what I was saying. I can't see like a clear plan. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it just, like you said, it's just that typical West Ham of just get who we can as and when we can, and that don't fill me with confidence. That's looking like a good pint, man. I wish I had one of them right now.
Yeah, man.
Okay. That's looking appetizing right now. I could do one. Might have to get one after this. But yeah, there's been some interesting progress on some interesting happenings on the Jacob Ramsey situation. It seems that Villa are about to sign his potential replacement in Evan Gusand. Apparently, they've verbal agreements in place of 30 million euros plus 5 million add-ons from Nice. Oh no, that's the striker. Sorry, who was the guy that they sent me that was the midfield? So one of a Villa fan I know. Yeah, this is him. No, yeah, Gassan. Yeah, he told me he's a midfield. He's a Ramsey replacement. So yeah, apparently Ramsey still needs convincing to come. There's obviously going to be a willingness for Villa to sell. This is where Will Salthouse needs to really show what he's about, because he's done very well out of this football club when it comes to agents' fees. Now there's a player we actually want that he's got signed to him. So go and convince him. Like, simple as, mate. Like, I know some people aren't convinced on Ramsey. It's, for me, it's just the injuries. I like him. I like him a lot as a player. I think me and you talked about it last week, and you was a bit unsure on Ramsey.
No, listen, I think he's a very good player. I think with the players we've been linked with, he wouldn't necessarily be my top. He would be either second or third. I think he's quality, and he does fit the profile of player that we should be bringing in. Young, British, got legs on him, would contribute not only to the engine room, but will also contribute to the creativity and goal output. So he would be a good player to bring in, but just wouldn't necessarily be my first choice. I think, like you said, the fact that, we spoke about it last time, that if anything were to happen, he doesn't seem keen on going. But when you're in a situation where you don't feel wanted and the club wants you out, it's only a matter of time. It's the same the other way around. Like, player power is strong now. So if you're someone a bit like Isak, it's kind of pushing for a move, there's no point. The days are done where you try and ride it out and keep them because they're locked down in the contracts. The harmony's messed up. The fans get involved along with the players, etc. So in his case, it only ends one way. If a club's saying, you know what, our asking price is this, then it you know what I mean? So the only concern I would have basically is if Villa do that and they say, look, here's the asking price, it could bring in other suitors, and then he could just weigh it up and he could think, you know what, all right, I'm going to take the best suitor. So he's kind of, to me, he's not keen. And like you said, if the agent can then weave his magic, then, you know what I mean, he could redeem himself a little bit with this one.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, hopefully, obviously, we do a thorough medical, although Wilson passed one, so Ramsey surely can. But I just want us to be confident that we can, get him to the point where he's not getting injured regularly. It worked for Antonio; was able to get to a point where he was getting injured on a regular basis and then hardly ever got injured. He lost a little bit of that pace after that, but if we can do that with Ramsey and have him available, it's a huge upgrade in our midfield, like massive.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of looking at sort of like the final friendly we played over in the States, it made me sort of think and evaluate, like, what is the best combination in terms, if we're looking at it being a free, and should Potts actually start or should he be protected? There's almost two questions. Should he start or be protected as one of the three? And the other thing is, what do we do with Souček? Because, if Souček comes in as part of a midfield three, he kind of needs to play in that advanced role, which therefore he's then competing with someone like Paqueta. Or do you use him almost as one of the front two, a false nine, or someone that might replace Four-Crew? Say like Four-Crew plays for about 65 minutes, between 65 and 80 minutes or something like that, and Souček comes on as his direct replacement, so you still got the aerial threat in both boxes. That's like that. They're the two questions for me in terms of the midfield three, because you kind of need an anchor, so you need a 6 and an 8, and it's about what the best combinations with our existing personnel, and then that kind of helps informs whoever comes in where they go. Do you know what I mean? Where they would fit in that sort of vibe.
Now, with James Ward-Prowse, like, am I being too harsh with James Ward-Prowse? Like, because I just think like he should be nowhere near this team right now. Like, he should be nowhere. I get that there's no direct alternative for the type of player that he is, and we do need to get an upgrade. But so I get why he's kind of playing in and around at the moment, but the fact that he played so long in the game, and we ended with a midfield of Ward-Prowse, Souček, and Rodriguez, which was the awful midfield he started in Man United. Like, it's just, I just don't get it. I don't get why Potter's giving so many minutes to the likes of Ward-Prowse and Rodriguez and Mavropanos over Guilherme. Different position, I know, but I wanted to see a formation change to a back four anyway in the second half. But Guilherme, Orford, he's brought Potts off early. Like, why is he giving minutes to players that are just we don't want? Like, and I don't know if I buy the shop window, because everyone says that he put him in the shop window. Do you think clubs are watching our pre-season and looking at fucking Rodriguez stink it up and going, yes, bring, I can do something with that. I don't know, man.
Nah, look. The thing is this. I hear you, and you got a point. I think, look, James Ward-Prowse, right? How I see him, he's vanilla. He is very, very, very vanilla, but he is also a coach's dream, because he's one of those players basically that does all the basics very well. He retains possession good. He works hard. He's an effective communicator, and he is someone that makes good players look even better by the things he would do off the ball or would compensate in order for those players to move in position. I think for us, the problem is he's a player that doesn't basically make an overall contribution. So he's not like a holding midfielder. He's not a box to box. He's not, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to kind of identify, what he's actually bringing in terms of output. If you look at his game at Southampton, he kept things ticking over, but he had a clear role. And when it came to his dead ball situation, not only was he influencing the game with his corners and free kicks, but he was also the penalty taker. So he was racking up things and game contributions due to those things. In our side, he's not those things. So I get why people get frustrated with him, but I firmly believe with the choice we have, if we look at the midfield, if you say there were 6 players or whatever, and you're trying to work out the best 3 to play, I kind of feel at this moment in time, in order to make everyone else function to the best of their ability, he kind of has to play. We need someone like him to tick it over. And I'll give you an example of this. Do you remember when he went out on loan, right? And we were just rubbed. The midfield was dry. And then he came back for those 2-3 games. And we thought, rah, we've got someone that's actually keeping the ball and chasing man down. Even though he's lost pace and he's slow, it seemed visually that he made an impact to our midfield in those first 2-3 games. But then what happened is we just became, our muscle memory just became accustomed to, Ward-Prowse passing left, passing right, passing back. And all of that, it seems negative to us. And I totally get it. But remember, he's a coach's dream because of what he's bringing and that simplicity of ticking over. He never goes hiding, James Ward-Prowse. He always wants the ball. But for him, it is safety first. So if he played in a function midfield that had a nice anchor, someone at the base that works hard, but can contribute not only defensively, but can contribute to building up attacks, then you had someone in front who was going to be like, let's just say the number 10 or the Paqueta role at the moment, who is looking to make things happen for the strikers. And then James Ward-Prowse just going left, right. It works okay. But then the moment you have workhorses in alongside James Ward-Prowse, it's awful and it don't work and it looks bad because he's not box to box.
Yeah, and I just find he just slows down so many attacks, and it just drives me crazy. We talked about the Everton game and his role in that goal we conceded through him passing back, and he's not pressure resistant at all, and I get it, but I really was disappointed to not see more of the young players get more minutes in that Bournemouth game, especially after we was 2-0 up. And yeah, I just question that, because how can Guilherme have this great appearance, and against Everton, and then nothing against Bournemouth? And people will, sit there and say, well, he can't play all the youngsters. He's a risk and all of this stuff. Like, if you can't play these young players in pre-season, when can you play them? This is the opportunity for us to get to see them, for them to get the chance to showcase what they can do and get themselves into the first team. And if we're not doing it now, he's not going to start doing it in the league when there's points on the line. So give him as many minutes as you can in pre-season over the players that we shouldn't care if they get minutes. I don't care if Rodriguez gets minutes. I don't care if Ward-Prowse gets minutes. I don't care if Mavropanos gets minutes. I don't care if Cornet gets minutes. There's players there that aren't a priority. And these players that have the chance to break into the first team should be the priority.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. Guilherme's a funny one because, again, he's another one positionally falls in between two stools if we're going to play this system. If he's going to come in, he's going to definitely come in as a wing back, and that will be on the left-hand side, which at the moment, Juve is looking very good and very tasty on that side. So, yeah, again, but for the system switch up, he is a good option to bring on. He looks like he's bulked up as well, which is a good thing, because he was very, very slender when he first joined the team, but just having a season under his belt, looks like he's been working out and stuff, so he's looking a bit more bulky, but it hasn't taken anything away from his pace, which is good.
No, definitely, which I think is key. It's always good when you see the younger players being able to just bulk up that little bit, and there's a few players there, and I think he was right to send Casey on loan, because he needs it. He struggled. Swansea, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. See what I mean? It's fine lines between sort of the development and throwing these kids in straight away, because all it takes is a situation like that, and you could just set back a good few steps. Do you know what I mean? And after his performance, or someone like Charles against Liverpool, it just sets them back for a little while.
That's why I think it's harder for defensive players, because if they make a mistake, there's a good chance it can lead to a goal. Whereas, if you're an attacking player and you shoot and it goes wide, or you misplace a pass or something, it's not as much pressure on you. So I think with someone like Casey, put him on loan, but Guilherme is exactly the sort of player we need in this team, and I think he is a good backup for Somerville. He fits that mold quite well of what he's like, a more raw version, I think. And because Somerville comes back, which I think is in a few weeks or so, then he's in there, and that's the thing. But like I said, as it stands, if we don't fix that midfield, we ain't going nowhere. And I think that's where a lot of pressure, like the Bournemouth game, it just got flashbacks to last season, the season before, and there's no counter-attack on ever. We're just parking everyone back. We're crumbling under the pressure of their press, and we're just not able to get out of our area. And lack of pace and a crap midfield, I think, are two big key areas in that.
No, absolutely. I can't disagree with that. I think Bournemouth, particularly in that first half, they just sort of pressed the life out of us. And I think we got big problems if we're not going to implement. If we're playing possession based, fair enough, but out of possession, we've got to be implementing some form of press to shut teams down. And that's why the thing is, a lot of people are frustrated with the back five, but I can't see a perfect combination for us to play in centre back, to play with four at the back. Whatever pairing you take out of Aged, Kilman, Todibo, Mavropanos, it don't matter. Whoever you pick, it don't feel right. It won't feel secure. I don't think we're good enough to play with two at the moment.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting, that first game against Sunderland. I'm going to be looking at that lineup very closely. Very close. I hope we get a couple more in, because we desperately, desperately need it. We desperately need it, man. Like they've got to get moving on the midfield. I think we need 2 midfielders, and we can't stop there. I think apparently, like, I'm hearing a lot of talk that Sullivan has money there. Like, there's money to spend in reality, but he just doesn't want to spend it.
I've from the get-go, I've been sort of like confused what to believe with regards to whether we got money, whether we're hard up or not. I think the whole Kudus thing was a situation whereby it made me think, you know what, maybe we do need money if we want to bring in some decent players. But again, the club will probably sort of looking at it from a situation with him that he needed to go. He probably didn't fit where Potter was going, so he became a sellable asset. I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe, but it could be a thing where we've got money, but in order to kind of get players that Potter wants, we need to sell.
Yeah, 100%. Because just when it comes to selling, we just haven't got a lot of assets. We have not got a lot of assets, like, because Rodriguez, apparently there's some interest in him, nothing really moving. So that, with Rodriguez, we're not going to get a lot from him. Mavropanos, I haven't really seen any interest, although he was decent in Germany.
I'd keep Mavropanos, I'd keep him, but I would keep him as a squad player. Like, I called him out from day dot. I remember me and Nicky going back. Nah, he's all right. I said, Nicky, he's not, man. He's not good at all. But he can come on and make a contribution. He just has those mad moments where he has a lapse of concentration. He gives the ball away, or he's way up the field and gets caught out of position in behind. That's the thing. But as a squad player, I don't mind him, and he's actually our best headerer in terms of like defenders.
In terms of out of everyone, like, he's the only one you can really defend aerial crosses and things like that. So it is the issue is with that, him getting caught out of position. That was a lot of the issues of him last season. Him getting caught out of position. I'm like, is no one telling him like to stop doing that? Because that's not an ability or a skill issue. You're just making a choice. You're consistently making a choice to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you'd think after getting caught, even in the same game, in the Chelsea game, after the first time round, he didn't learn. He didn't go, shit, do you know what? I'm going to stay back a bit here. No, he kept running forward, and he don't look and see, oh, well, Alvarez is up there. Maybe I should stay back and cover, because I want to be up there. Like, you're not. I know he can play right back, but he's not a right back. You're playing centre back, mate. Centre back.
This is why, in terms of leaders and communication within a team, is so important, particularly in midfield, as we keep going on about. But having someone that's very vocal in that deep line anchor midfield, because it's a very important like space whereby you'd have the deep line midfielder who can sometimes tuck in and drop in between the 2 centre backs, but also for the fullbacks or the wing backs, there has to be communication between the 3 players there, whatever side centre back and the fullback that an attack's coming down, in order to who goes forward, because you want to be able to kind of play triangles and stuff. But naturally, if a fullback goes up, then that deep line midfielder will naturally tuck in or move across. And same with a centre back, if he pushes up, that triangle would shuffle around. What always happens with us is, in seasons gone by, Alvarez will for some reason think he's a number 10 and start motoring up the field, either with the ball or without the ball, which often left that space vacant. And therefore, if the ball got turned over, you had the centre backs in a position where they were then in no man's land. Do they need to press? Do they need to whatever? Or the other way around, if we're in possession, like you say, Mavropanos has got the ball and he's bombing up.
Yeah.
And then there's a big space there. Once he's got turned over, we're in trouble. It's a little bit the same with Wan-Bissaka, you know, because as good as Wan-Bissaka has been for us, and definitely was our best player by a country mile, he can have those lapses in concentration sometimes where he will do something and get caught out. I think that right side can sometimes be one of our Achilles heel, can be quite a vulnerable side.
That's the thing. A lot of our issues last season were positional and off the ball issues. You know what I mean? Like defensively, players just getting caught out of position. Offensively, players not making runs, moving into space. You know, it was a lot of static, waiting for the pass, just stand still, pass me the ball here, rather than moving and being an option and stretching teams. And that was a big issue, and that's what we have to fix this season. And I'm really hoping that we start to see players make more runs and be more intelligent. And that was something I criticized a lot, was just the lack of football intelligence from the players last season.
Yeah, for sure. That in-game management for starters and decision-making. The decision-making side of it, I think it's something we've struggled with for years. But the in-game management in the last season or 2 seasons, you can make an argument and say that we've been caught out due to poor, unforced errors. That's led to us, you know what I mean? Getting turned over, we concede a goal. We've seen it in pre-season a couple of times, you know, against Man United, Areola, etc. So yeah, that stuff we need to cut out. And I'm glad Potter did come out and say, you know, there's 2 things he wants us to get better at, which is that in-game management. So cut out the mistakes and controlling games, knowing when to stifle when we're under pressure and stifle a team, and knowing when to regain control and just kind of like, you know what I mean, wear teams down.
So Steve says, what log are you on, Brian?
San Miguel.
Ah, the fancy stuff, I see. The famous story there was when we all went out and we was in a whip. We had a whip, and Tom, who used to come on fan cams, wanted to buy for San Miguel out of the whip, and I went, no, mate. We want to make this whip last. You get yourself a Carlsberg. He put in an extra 20 so he could get San Miguel. I shamed him. Into paying extra for San Miguel. I'm like, no, it's Carlsbergs, mate. We want this to last all night. I'm like counting how many people and trying to do the maths in my head. So yeah, nah, not bad. BL San Miguel. Asahi, Steve. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Third best Japanese beer though. Kirin number 2 and Sapporo number 1.
Okay. I don't know the number 2 one.
Yeah, Kirin Ichiban, it's called. First Japanese beer I actually ever had in Wood Green.
Okay.
Years ago. Alex says, whilst it's great hearing someone call Sullivan out, I wouldn't bank on getting back on talkSPORT. Sullivan has mates in the media and talkSPORT. It has highlighted Sullivan. Now, I think Alex is, I just put a video up on Lawless Live, which you can check out after this, where I did an interview and I was talking about Sullivan's interference in the transfers. And look, you know, they've been having me on there for about, what is it, probably like 7 years or something. And I've been calling out Sullivan all these years. So they've been quite good about getting me back. Maybe one day I'll catch him on the wrong day or hear it on the wrong day and he'll, you know, kill it off. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it. And I was on the overlap today, which I think might be coming out tomorrow. And I really went in on Sullivan on the overlap. I really went in. So that'll be interesting to see. So look out for that. That should
Mind it don't get edited out.
Yeah, I'll see. I mean, they seem to be happy with it. I mean, they were sort of taken aback at the time because I was just, yeah, man. I went in. And that's the thing, because it's like you're very aware you've got a short window of time to speak. So I'm like, right, I'm gonna say everything I need to say about this. And it's so much harder as well because you get more frustrated because you can't swear. So you're just even more like, I can't release the energy by swearing. So I'm even more, and I'm just like going in on him. So yeah, like I said, look, as long as I've got a platform, as long as people get me on their platforms, I'm gonna call out Sullivan. And that's how it is. There needs to be that wider exposure. I think a lot of neutrals don't realise how, how bad he runs this football club.
No, man, fair dues.
So is it true when Nicky says you won't get around him? No, I'm just like, all I'm saying is if there's a communal pot, like we can't be all getting, different price drinks hyper. We've got to be sensible and make it last. That's all I was calling for. This is a communal pot. If I went and started getting a fucking bottle of Cristal or something or whatever, or the expensive drink, and it's like, well, you got 5 left in the whip. Well, people are going to be fuming. I'm thinking of everyone. so yeah, that's it, man. But like look with the Hermansen, a Danish source has reported that he's closing on a move to West Ham. Earlier today, Sky Sports reported that we'd pulled out of negotiations due to price tag, but positive dialogue has continued. Personal terms in place. I think we want to get it closer to the 20 mil than the 30 mil price tag. And yes, I did have a good train journey. Cheers. So we they want 30. We're trying to get it as close to 20 million as possible, that package. And it seems, the player wants to come. It's just about finalizing that fee. And Potter and McCauley, I think, are insisting on getting him in. I think they want Suzuki. They really wanted him, but that's looking closer to 30. So I think Hermansen's the one. Hopefully we get him and not John Victor, because the manager's got to get who he wants.
The thing is, if they do bring him in, though, this is why I don't write off the fact of 2 coming in, because if they do get Hermansen, this is where I'm saying Areola is going to be, his nose is going to be pushed out of joint. He ain't going to be coming to be understudy. I don't think he's going to be coming to be understudy. So if he does come in, then it probably makes sense getting the 2.
Yeah, exactly. So 30 million on a keeper. It would be insane when the midfield. But I don't mind spending 30 mil if we go and get the other positions sorted that we need. If we spend 30 mil and we go, well, now we can't afford the top midfielder, well, then I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah,
that's.
I think we'll get someone in. Like, we know we need 2. Probably get 1. That's the only thing. We'll probably get 1.
Yeah, 100%. So listen, hopefully McCauley keeps fighting the good fight against Sullivan. He keeps, sticking up for what Potter wants and what he wants, and just not rolling over. Like, I think it's just enough is enough now. Someone asked if I could see, and you can see Potter walking away, and McCauley, like if it keeps happening, and I don't know. Like, look, he can. When it comes to the end of the season, he can be sacked for nothing. There's that clause. So could I see him with that in mind? I could see him walking, because he's going to think, well, they might they might just sack me for nothing at the end of the season. Fuck it, I might as well walk away and save my reputation and sit there. Because if you walk away, you're making a statement of going, this is a circus, this is a clown show. I want no part of this. And you kind of protect yourself a little bit. And maybe that's what he'll have to do if it gets deeper and deeper. Because we see it, Slaven Bilic had these problems. Pellegrini had these problems. Moyes, every manager under these lot have had these same problems with these owners.
The difference with them guys, though, apart from Pellegrini, they spoke out. So it's very clear to us that there was disharmony within the camp, the hierarchy and decisions that were being made. With Potter at the moment, we're not hearing anything, and we don't know if there is communication or not. We're only hearing like little bits and things that are coming out when he's saying, "Oh, this is not Potter's man," and all this kind of stuff. That's the only. To me, is not quite clear yet. But if he is not happy, then he'll be well within his rights to walk away. But I would like to hear some noise to make it be very clear. Yeah, because of X, Y, Z, This
Yeah.
ain't for me.
Yeah, I don't want no like political PR, like he's trying to,
Yeah.
nice it up and just go, oh, it was, I had personal issues or I had no, like you come out and you
Mm-hmm.
throw them under the bus and say exactly what it is.
That's right.
Otherwise, I've got no respect for you. I'll respect
Yeah.
him if he comes out and said, nah, this is bullshit. I'm out of here. Iron Brew says, I've never understood why fans care so much on how much we spend on players. If we get in the players we need, who cares? It's not our money. Well, this is the issue, though, right? And I had this conversation earlier. People said that, like, why do fans care about how much money you spend? Like, PSR and FFP has made fans have to be accountants because
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly looking at, well, look, if we're splashing all this money on these positions, say we don't need or we're overpaying, well, what about next summer? What if we're tight against PSR like Villa are now? Like we're
Yes.
hearing that we are now. You're having to think of the long term. Like in the grand scheme of things, if it weren't for that, listen, I wouldn't care. You could go and sign a goalkeeper for 200 million. As long as we can keep spending and there's no issue, I don't mind. But at the end of the day, we know that's not the case. And the off the pitch stuff, you have to watch as closely in how they operate as much as the on the pitch stuff of what they're spending and how they're spending. Because again, it's the way they're running this club is a joke. So I'm looking at every penny and sitting there and thinking, well, if we spend 30 million on a goalkeeper, now are we not going to be able to go if we need to get a 40, 50 mil midfielder that we need? Is that going to hold us back? And that's what they'll say. And this is the thing. They'll, even if it's not true, they'll use that excuse. So we don't know. But we have to watch it now. That's the game. The sport has become financial as much as it's become, the actual football we watch.
I think that's a fantastic point, because as you said, you look at Aston Villa, you can even say Newcastle, do you know what I mean? Over the last season, etc., where they're, due to transfer activity and stuff like that, there's been a bit of a hindrance in trying to get people in or needing to offload a whole heap of players, everyone being up for sale as a result. So, yeah, no, that is a good point still.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't the case, and I wish we could just be happy that whatever we're spending and whoever's coming in. But unfortunately, that's not the game today. So
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on that. But listen, like it's going to be very interesting next season. Me and Brian both gave up our season tickets along with many others, so I'm really going to be interested to see like how many is going to be in the stadium for the home games, how the atmosphere is going to be. Is it going to be filled with a load of neutrals? We'll see. I'm looking forward to hearing the reports on that, but it's sad and just without giving too much away, that's kind of what I spoke about on the overlap is how much they've sort of ripped the soul out of the club, taking us to this soulless bowl that everyone keeps saying us about. And it is so. Yeah, man. It's it's going to be a very interesting season. I also, do you know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling so just like bipolar on West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like because I did a social thing for Overlap, and they asked me who's your dark horse, and after everything I said West Ham, like because I just think like as shit as this all is, I don't think we're going to be as bad as
Yeah.
everyone expects us to be. I think I'm not saying we're going to bloody get Champions League or anything like that, but I don't think we're going to be anywhere near relegation. And I think there'll be a period where we could potentially like look at seventh or be within touching distance. And my frustration isn't like, I mean, with like I said, if we don't sort out that midfield, then forget everything I'm saying right now. Just forget it. But it's just I just don't like the way Sullivan's running the club. Whatever we achieve next season, even if fucking brilliant, I'll never agree with him going and interfering in transfers and picking players and things like that. I want long-term sustainability, but I just feel like I don't know about you, Brian, but next season, if like I said, midfield, I think we are going to get a midfielder in, but I just feel like a lot of people seem to be predicting us for relegation or to be a team in the mix of relegation. I don't think we're going to be as bad as that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, for me, I really do feel we need to sort of like stick with the manager, give him time to implement strategies, bring in the people he wants to bring in, play the philosophy and style he wants to do. And with that, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Like, there's going to be times where it's going to be crap. We're going to get turned over. Things won't work. But I feel there'll be a time where we'll sort of grow into the season. And I do feel as the season goes on, we'll probably end up getting better as it goes along. It's a tough start. Do you know what I mean? So the start is very crucial as well. But I think it will be a tough start for us. But I do believe we will probably be in and around mid-table, from my opinion. Yeah. As it stands now, obviously things could change. I would love a cup run. I'd love us to win a cup like we spoke about last time. That would be good. But as long as there's improvement in the style of play, decision making, even if there's like tight games and we lose, but we can see collectively that there is an improvement, there's an identity in what we're trying to do, and there's a blueprint in the pattern. I will take that. I will take that. I don't think we're going to be in relegation trouble, but I do understand why people think that and why people say that, due to the fact that if you look at last season, how it ended, then if you look at what's happened for us currently in transfer activity, losing Kudus, which was like one of our marquee players, etc., you can kind of see why external and internal fans think that. But I just think it's a new dawn, you know, we're trying to play a new way. And yeah, let's go from there.
Yeah, look, pre-season, I think will make a big difference. Potter having a pre-season, a lot of players that we didn't have a preseason last season now having one. The improved fitness of Fulkrug and other players. I just think we're going to see a better West Ham. How much better? I don't know. There's no way we'll be as bad as we were last season. You know, we're gonna have, I think, more pace in the side. Like Diouf is making a difference already. It's like more players like that. So yeah, there's no way we should see. We saw glimpses of what we can do under Potter, Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, those games. We've seen it. So, like, yeah, I think there's positives. And the vibes in the camp seem to be really good. The players seem to be just a lot happier. Who knows? Maybe a few weeks of a West Ham season could change that. But as it stands, yeah, they're looking happy. But we can't rest on our laurels. And look, Daniel James, as he says, we have to keep Paqueta because I think Paqueta is going to be key. He's looking just back to his best. He seems to be really happy, weight lift off his shoulders. Like he's been linked with Spurs or whatever. Apparently, like we're expecting teams later in the window to come in for him. Paqueta has to stay.
Mate. This is how unpredictable things is at our club. Like you could make a case to say, like, if I said to you, next week, an offer's going to come in for him and the club's going to accept it. Or next week, we've made a bid for Elliot and another person, it's been accepted. You can like believe both aspects, and that's how unpredictable our club is. I think with Paqueta, the thing is this from my point of view. Regardless of what happens this season, this will be his last season at the club. So whether he stays and plays this season or whether he gets sold, this will be the last season, full season we're going to see of him. So I feel we need to sort of like bear that in mind going forward. If we were to sell him, and let's just get it right, I don't want to do that personally. But if we were to do that, there would have to be a couple people lined up straight away. Bang, bang, bang. That would be the only way. That would be the only way. And it literally would be a new start, wouldn't it? You'd lose two of your top marquee players. Because let's get it right. As Paqueta can go from the sublime to the ridiculous. He'll do stuff where he'll lose the ball in silly places, or he'll dive and when possession get turned over. Or it could be a genius where he slides them in line through balls to Bowen or whatever, or just does something to break up the play. So the type of players I like, I ain't got time like for full blown Mavericks who can cost your team. I love a Maverick, but not ones that can cost your team. So for him, Paqueta's a bit like Marmite for me. But the way how our team and how our squad is, we need him, because without him, we've got no creativity, no visionaries. And again, it goes back to Ward-Prowse, having those kind of vanilla players who just do the simple things, because we ain't got no one else. We've got a team of, Sucheks and Rodriguez who do what they do, and it just is not a good look. So you kind of have to have players like Paqueta, and I guess, if in an ideal world for me, Dan, I would play a different system. I like 4-3-3. I don't mind the 4-2-3-1. But I always liked Paqueta out on the left, and I think that's where he played his most effective football, because he is good at creating chaos, but also he works hard as well. And being able to sort of like come on the inside, not necessarily on the outside, it just gave Bowen and whoever up top create space and a load of options. I don't think he's a number 10. And this is the thing. We all kind of put him in that role there because we know he's got the ability to do something creative, but he's actually not consistent enough in that position for me. Best we've got in that position.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, I do think we do need to sign like a clear, proper number 10. I would like to see someone like that, a proper creative midfielder. And then, yeah, you can either have Paqueta in the 8, maybe as an option, or like you said, on the left. That'll be very interesting. But I think when everyone's fit, Somerville, I think on the left wing should be like our first choice there. And do you know what? Against Villa, if I remember, I think he switched him on the right, actually.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, did. Yeah, that's right.
And he was like brilliant there. So
lethal.
I don't want to put Bowen up top, though. That's the only thing. And Bowen was obviously injured for that game. But yeah, like there's options there to know, okay, we can have a Somerville on the left, we can have him on the right, we can have Paqueta on the left. You could, like you said, you can have him in the 10, maybe ideal. You could put him in the 8, whatever. There's options as long as we've got quality players, like quality players on and off the ball, pace in the side, move the ball around better. Like we've seen we can do it, like with Fearon, Potts and Paqueta, the way they was pinging the ball around against Man United. Beautiful. Yeah. Fearon, like we never saw him after that debut. He looked brilliant. We didn't see him against Everton. We didn't see him against Bournemouth. Are we going to see him? Like I just don't get how you can have someone make a debut and just that's it. You're done. You played brilliant, but no more minutes for you. That's what I don't get.
It's hard though, isn't it? Like you got to like take a lot of players out there, and he obviously has his fault in terms of players that he wants to start and play with. I think with Fearon, it's more about the experience, that being around the first team, traveling away to America, getting a game against Man United as well, marquee game out of all of them. I think it did him in his profile and the club. It did very good, and I think that little touch that he got there in terms of coming on and doing what he did, it would do him wonders. So I won't that, it would have been nice to see him again, but again, it's styles and it's personnel. If you look at the Everton game, Everton were like boxers, mate. They were looking to like just like, you know what I mean? They were rough. They were roughing it out. That was a physical game.
Yeah, just for a pre-season, that was disgusting from them, to be honest.
Yeah, they just got dirty, and Bournemouth were just like pressing the hell out of us. So again, I kind of see it. The Bournemouth one was probably about the result in the end, so it's more safe.
Yeah. I would just like to see us, just build on it and just go, right, okay, here's some more minutes. And because I just worry that we won't see him again for God knows how long. And you just got, whether it's just a few more minutes, a few more bits of experience, even if it's in the cup, like I just look at players there and I just think, can this player do much worse than this player? Like these youngsters and some of the players we've got, like can Orford really do any worse than Rodriguez? I don't think so. So I don't see the harm in playing him. Chewy, to answer your question, 100% no to Greenwood. No. Player-wise, yes.
Yeah.
But nah, we don't want to be associated with all that, mate.
Yeah. Forget that.
But yeah, man. Like I said, look, like I said, it's been a crazy day of news. We don't know whether we're coming or going, but it was good to come on here, mate, and just try and figure it out and talk it through. Stop saying I hate Irving. I defend him. You always ignore this. I stick up for Irving to Scott. Scott always says I love Irving. And no, I don't think he could do worse than them. And I would play him over those players. And I don't know why
you play Irving over Ward-Prowse. No,
yes.
man.
Yeah. No. Easy 100%, man.
No,
come on.
Come
on. He's definitely more forward thinking than Ward-Prowse.
He ain't. If Ward-Prowse ain't offering no output, Irving ain't offering no output. When they're talking about teams coming in for him for like 2-3 million, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, fair enough, we'll take that. You can't be telling me that he's going to be contributing more to someone like Ward-Prowse. That's bananas, man. That is bananas.
I think there's a player in there with Irving. I really do.
Listen, Irving's all right, and I'll definitely keep him. He's a good. Do you know what? It's kind of like if he was sold, I wouldn't be fussed. If he was kept, I wouldn't be fussed either way. But starting in a midfield three, nah, not for me. Definitely not. Definitely not.
What do you mean, Trudge, fellow ginger? How am I in any way ginger? Mousy brown. When I had hair, it was like mousy brown. Ginger, what? It was not ginger. Where are you getting that? I didn't even know Irving was ginger. I think you need. I think you might be colorblind, Trudge. But yeah, man. I just would play my book.
Yeah, I mean, look, all right, and this is out to the chat. It's out to you as well. If we're looking at the formation we're playing now and we're picking a midfield three, yeah, who are the three people are going with? Because I personally feel it's going to be the team we lined up against Bournemouth. I think that's basically going to be the team. It ain't going to look much different against Sunderland. Unless
Paqueta.
Yeah. Unless we bring in some signings. That's the only way I look different. But in the chat, what you saying? Who are the midfield three going to be? That's what I want to know. Because like I said, Ward-Prowse, his job is just to make other man look good and be the glue. And when he's not there, right? And remember, I'm saying he's very vanilla. He's your 6 or 7 out of 10. But when he's not there, yeah, forget Alvarez. I'm seeing Alvarez in the comment. Forget Alvarez for me, man. Like Alvarez, if you look at the last 3 managers, he's caused some kind of issue. There's been some kind of issue where something's happened and he's been banished from the team. So there's some kind of discipline problem there. And on the pitch, he's got ill discipline, not only with his rash tackling, but his positional sense in thinking and going from a DM to like thinking he's a number 10 and holding onto the ball and dribbling and that. Like, for me, those guys can make a contribution, but I'm not feeling it. But what I'm seeing at the moment is Alvarez, Potts, and who? Paqueta.
Isn't Potts like more of a sort of a DM as well, though?
Yeah. If you look, I mean, if you look at our midfield, yeah, we've got 3 like DMs, yeah, in Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Potts. They're like the 3 who that is their natural position. And out of the 3 of them, Alvarez has got some flexibility in moving into other positions, dropping into the back 3 because he can play as a centre back. Yeah, that's the 3. And this is why Rodriguez is getting a lot of game time. It's not because I don't think it's because Potter fancies him at all. It's just we're in a situation where you've got a development player and you've got Alvarez, who's I don't know what's going on with him. So it means Rodriguez is getting a lot of game time, which is he's the one people should be saying, nah, I don't want him in the team, rather than Ward-Prowse. He's the clear one. That's a massive problem. A massive problem.
He's a better player, though. I know they're different players, but he's a good.
What? So Rodriguez? Wait a minute. Wait.
No, wait. Alvarez. We're talking Alvarez or Rodriguez?
Oh, I was saying Rodriguez.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Rewind. Go back.
Rodriguez needs to go. Yeah, Rodriguez needs to go. And this is what I'm saying. If Ward-Prowse has the right players alongside him, you'll get better output from Ward-Prowse if he's gluing it up. If you had to straight pick between Ward-Prowse and Souček in a midfield three, this is the key. In a midfield three, remember, we're trying to play a possession-based game. This is what people are overlooking. We're trying to play a possession-based game. If you had to play Ward-Prowse or Souček in a midfield three.
Yeah, like Ward-Prowse obviously makes more sense if you're trying to play possession, right? If you're trying to play counter, then you go Souček, right? Counter attack. Although obviously Ward-Prowse still, it's good to be able to pass quickly and decisively in a counter attack. But yeah, man, give me Irvin in that midfield over Ward-Prowse. I just like, I don't know, man. Ward-Prowse. The thing is, like, everything you said about him being vanilla. Do you know who the best vanilla player was? He was a great vanilla player for us, better than Ward-Prowse.
Mark Noble.
Well, no, yeah, Mark Noble. I put him on a different tier. But like out of them type of players, Robert Snodgrass, man. Give me a Robert Snodgrass over Ward-Prowse all day long, mate.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're not the same position though. They're not the same position.
No, they're not.
Snodgrass was more a winger, innit? Like again, he had great delivery.
Century sometimes he did take free kicks and stuff, but he was still feeling like, I don't know, man. He had a bit more about him. Like with Ward-Prowse, there's not even like, you know, with Noble, right? You mentioned Noble. He had a bit of grit about him, a bit of steel, a bit of fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can get stuck in. I'm not seeing that from Ward-Prowse. I've seen a little bit like when he come in under Moyes and he was pressing the Spurs game and stuff like that. Like he don't do that anymore. Where's the
That's
press?
instruction though, isn't it? Though that's instruction. The team's not pressing because I feel like we don't have the legs or the right personnel to press. And I think that's been the problem. When we try to implement a pressing game, it's embarrassing and then we get caught out. Do you know what I mean? And again, the system change. I think there's more security in what we're trying to play because when we try to implement a press, it ain't working. The thing is, like I said, it's not me that defending Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse is not a player that provides enough end product. But in terms of what we currently have, he is one of the better players in that position. He will, if you had to ask Paqueta or certain players within our team who they would prefer, if you're asking them, who you want to do a little 1-2 with or whatever, they're gonna say him all day long because you're getting the combination of retaining possession, which is a coach's dream, alongside communication, which we don't have. He's like one of the leaders in the team because he talks. Do you know what I mean? We've got a team that don't talk. We've got a whole back line that's quiet as hell and a goalkeeper that's quiet. Do you know what I mean? And Ward-Prowse has come in. He's got a little bit of leadership skills. So, yeah, it's more that he's kind of like, he's one of the better ones of what we have. But because people don't see end product, and he falls between two stools, doesn't he? We don't know what he does. Is he a DM? Is he this? Is he box to box? So I do get the heat, but I think he gets more heat than he deserves, in my opinion.
I'm telling you, we can't go into the season with him as our first choice. We can't.
He has to start. Ward-Prowse has to start.
No, we have to sign someone. No, man, we have to sign someone, Brian.
We need to sign two. We need to sign, in that case, we definitely need to sign two midfielders who are starting. If that happens, then 100%.
Wait, hold up. So you're saying if we sign one starting midfielder, right, an 8, CM, whatever, you would still start Ward-Prowse?
It depends on the position. So if we start someone that, if we basically buy someone that's like a DM, then we know Potts ain't gonna start. Yeah. If we sign someone, see, if you look at Ramsey, let's look at Ramsey, right? Now, the position he ended up playing for Villa in the end, which is not his favoured position. He was kind of playing on that left side. Yeah. So again, with the system we play, which is different, that would mean he would have to play in an advanced position where that Paqueta is currently playing at the moment. He wouldn't play in that sort of double pivot or just in front in an 8. Like he wouldn't play in that role. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why he wouldn't be my first choice. Whereas a Harvey Elliott can do both. He can play in that Ward-Prowse number 8, and he can also play in an advanced position. So that's why he would be my first choice for sure. And then you're bringing in legs as well with that as well. And that's exactly what we need. And like I said, Ward-Prowse's job is to keep the ball ticking over. Yeah, keep it ticking over, give it to the players. If we're in danger, retain possession, move it left, move it right. It's as boring as hell. But if the other players are effective what they're doing, then it don't look as bad. It's just that we don't have enough creativity, so it looks and can be frustrating. But it's a manager's dream. Trust me, it's a manager's dream because they're just keeping it ticking over. And it's what it is. It's our expectations of Ward-Prowse seems to be higher than what it should be. It's like we're thinking he's better than what he actually is. And a lot of that comes down to the whole
he needs to be better than what he is. That's what we're thinking. He needs to be better than what he is because it's not good enough. That's the problem. Yeah. And I agree with Chewy here. Why don't we get Chukwu, who's gone to Burnley from Chelsea? Like,
yeah,
he was there, available, bit of energy in midfield. And this is it. Like Burnley are going and getting that midfield sorted before we're getting ours sorted. Absolute madness. Like if you're looking at teams that have like better midfields than us that are like coming up from the Championship, that's a worry. Like we need to sort it as a matter of urgency.
It's combinations, and as we've both said, and a number of us have said, what you can't do is play 3 players that are defensive minded. If you're going to
add on to this, Brian, not to interrupt you, but I'll let you finish as well. Add on as well what you think of Douglas Luiz and what he can bring as well.
Yeah, now you're talking. So that's different because he's got some guile where he can put his foot in, but he's also got the creativity and he can deliver from dead balls as well. Ward-Prowse has still delivered from dead balls, just more is setting up assists. He hasn't produced goals, but he has contributed to assists, so he's still a big outlet for that. Douglas Luiz would be he would be a good one. Can Brian play in the 8? You know what? Yeah, man. Listen, that was my position still. That was my position. Yeah, man. That was my position.
There we go. So look, was you a Ward-Prowse? Was you a Ward-Prowse? Was you like
No. I was like more like a winger that came inside into that injury room in my young days. I played at a good level still, but yeah, man. Then the knees got done, and then that was the rest was a wrap.
Knees, Nicky as well. Like these knees, not like anyone goes and watch that Talker Social video on the members page. Nicky could barely walk after that. He was like, I might need to go to hospital. He's just kicking some balls. He's done, mate. So yeah, like and do kind of bloody speak now. It's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen. I got up at like 5:30. Do go check out the memberships. Like I said, we've added that video where it was at the Talker Social. To be clear, so usually the second tier is where like a lot of the video content will be. I put that for every member for the first one, but we're going to put other little clips and bits and pieces for like all the tiers and things like that. But you also get the stickers. I'm going to put the emojis up this week, and we're planning I would just negotiate talking to someone about doing some. I can't say who it is, but someone's going to be coming and doing content. And I think you'll be very happy when you find out who that is and enjoy it. And we'll add a lot of stuff. And Jay still wants to do the weight loss thing on the membership. We'll get that accountability.
Weight loss diaries.
Yeah, like we used to do on our we had a channel we used to do it on. So we'll bring that back, get his accountability down, and I need to shift some as well for sure. Please listen, you're going to see a lot of Brian anyway, like regardless, members on here, all of that stuff. Right, yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, man, listen, thanks for coming on. Like I said, it was it was good. I did want to do a live stream, Brian, and you hit me up. I was like, yes. Yeah, do check out Brian's Instagram. It is West was it? You said him.
West Ham fan _ Brian.
Fan, yeah, _ Brian. So go and follow Brian on Instagram. And yeah, you can connect with Brian on there, see the posts that he's doing on West Ham. So there it is. Go and follow him on the Insta. And yeah, so go and check out Lawless Live and check out my talkSPORT, my latest talkSPORT interview that I've put up there. And I'll probably put some stuff on from the overlap on there as well. I'll probably put my bits on there. So you go check out Lawless Live, my solo channel. And yes, we appreciate you all. We'll probably be back tomorrow. I see you might do a show with Nikki. Yeah, we'll just listen. We'll keep on it. So yeah, man, thanks a lot. Thank you all for watching. Great show. And one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.